Okay. I hope I am clearly audible and my screen is visible. Yeah. Okay. I think we should start. Fine. Okay. So, guys, in the last session, what we have discussed, you remember the functions concept? We discussed multiple things. First of all, we discussed about your static keywords. Then we discussed about your final keywords. Then we discussed about different types of functions that we have in Java. Okay. And the major prevalent one, which is being used mostly in the Java, that is your return type with some input. Okay, but that depends upon the use case and the requirement and how you're writing the code, that which methods of function you want to use. Fine. Okay. Now next thing, we have discussed this thing also. What was that? The memory management, where all my static variables and my methods will be stored. It will be stored in my common memory allocation, CMA. Fine. Then where my normal methods will be stored, which are known as the non-static methods, it will be stored, or a copy will be given to all the objects in my heap. Okay. And where all my local variables will be stored, it will be stored in my stack. And what about the objects? So objects will be stored in my heap, and the object reference variable will be stored inside the stack. Okay, cool. Now what about your main method? Since main method is static, so it will be stored inside my this CMA only, a constant pool, like your uh, common memory allocation. Fine. And where all my non-static variables or properties of that class will be stored, it will be stored inside my objects or inside my heap. And where my static variables will be stored inside my CMA. That we all know now. Okay. Now it's time to move further on and work on the different return statements that we can have in our Java. Okay, because this is very, very important, guys. Because see, once you are working on the automation frameworks or writing any code, so you need to know that where to return any statement, how many statements we can return, okay, in a method or in a loop. Fine, that all things we have to see now. So for that reason, I'll just create what a separate class for you inside that same function package that we have done. I'll be creating like a student class having your some methods. That is a main method. Okay. Now we know by static, it means that it will be going inside my CMA only. Fine. Now, so just try to understand or try to visualize that now a client has given you a requirement. And what is the requirement? First of all, let us just try to understand the acceptance criteria or the requirements. What is my requirement? So client is saying that you have to write a function. What function? In such a way that we have to fetch the student marks based on the student name. So this is my requirement. Okay, what does this requirement says? That the client is saying you have to create such a function, and the function should be actually fetching the student marks based upon what? The student name you are giving to that particular method. Okay, so what does this mean? That what should be the input type to this particular method I am expecting? What logic should I write in this case? So let us just consider that that we are writing a method with name. So this is something high level thing I am telling you. Then we will be working on the coding part. So I'm saying that method with the name I am writing get student marks. Fine. And this is a method. And inside the method, what is the input I am expecting? See what it is saying, that you want to fetch the student's marks based upon the what? Student name. So just a high level thing I'm saying that I want to give a name as the input parameter. And do I am expecting something return? Anything in return? Yes, I am expecting. What are these? These are the marks. I am expecting a return statement with the case of your marks. Anything else? So let us just try to write a logic in such a way that for every incorrect answer, student has got what? A negative marks of 1. Fine. This is my logic. And at last, I want to return the final marks. This is my logic that I want to implement it right now for the method that I want to create. So always make it a habit, guys. Just first try to understand what is the functional flow or the functional expectations a client or a manager have from you, or what is the logical flow that you are going to write. So this is a sort of a pseudo code, okay, that you want to write first before knowing how it is actually implemented. Fine. Now I know the things. So I can actually implement, or I can write a code logic for it. Now, let us just start to write. I know it is my public, and right now I don't know whether what things I have to return. So I'll be writing as a void only. Okay. Public void, and what is the method name I tell? Let it be like get student marks. And inside this, what parameter I am expecting, guys? It is a name. Name is what type of parameter? It's a int, double, string, or what? So I have to write this string name. Fine. In this now, I am expecting a method with a get student marks, where I am just saying that as soon as I am providing a name to this particular method, this method will be giving some marks to me. Now, fetching the marks, getting the marks, that all depends upon me, how I am actually writing the code into it. That's a business logic, business requirement, something someone has given to me. Now it's up to me how I'm actually writing the code. So first of all, it's always a best practice that you should actually, write some print statement to make sure what you are getting on the console. So what should I write on the something like this, like student name is, just to verify that you are doing correct. Student name is what I have concatenated it with your this name. Okay. So it is going to print the name in front of you on the console. Now next, what I want to, what first of all, calculate some code logic, like how can I calculate the total marks of an student and how can I return it. So what can I do? Let us just write an if condition saying that if my name dot equals what? I am saying that if my name, let it be like, if it is equal to Nishan, then what to do? Do one thing, take a variable int score, okay, and I am just assigning a value 90, that Nishant got 90 marks out of 100. Fine. I've assigned it, declared it. Now I am saying that Nishant got some 5 incorrect answers, and because of it, he got a negative marking of 5 marks. Fine. And then I want to calculate the total marks. So what logic I can write? I can write like whatever score I got plus whatever negative marks I have. That is a code level logic I can write. Okay. Perfect. Fine. Okay. Let it be like this. In the same way, I'll just try to write it for 2 more students. This is one of my logic. This is another, and this is another. Now I'll just write it else if condition and else if condition, and name I am taking for time being, let it be Manish and Meena. Okay. I'll just try to manipulate some numbers also. I'm saying 70, and now he has got some 15 marks negative, and Meena has got what what I'll just use 82 and negative marks of 7. Fine. So this is something I've written now. Now in all the cases, I have taken a total marks, and I am actually adding the marks of whatever scored I have done, and a negative marks because of my negative marking of my incorrect questions that I've got. Now 3 logic I have built, that if my name is Meena, or my name is Manish, or my name is Nishant, this code logic should work. Now I'll write an else condition also. If in the case the name that you are trying to send as an input parameter is not present, so what should I write? Student not uh, correct, please check. Some sort of a code level logic I am writing on my basis. Now fine, this is the logic I have written. Next what? Hmm? Next what? Tell me. First of all, tell me where should I give a return statement? Hmm? Should I give it here, like return total marks? Should I give it here, or should I give it in a specific your blocks, like here, here, return total marks, and I am saying at the last return total marks. So first of all, see the error. Void methods cannot return a value. So I know this thing. So what I'll be doing, I'll be just replacing this void with an int. Perfect. Hmm? Perfect. I can do in this way. Now see this, what it is saying. The total marks cannot be resolved to a variable. Why? Because I have not defined it at the method level. Now see what it is saying. Total marks cannot be resolved to a variable, because right now I don't have any variable declared at else level. So obviously it won't take. Now see guys, what is an issue here? What this method is saying, that this method must return a result of type int. Even if you are trying to return a value of integer type in every block of if else condition, see return total marks, return total marks, return total marks. But this method is expecting that there should be always one return statement at your method level. So wherever your method is going to finish, before that you need to have one return statement. And that's the only correct way to actually return something from a particular method. Okay. If you are returning something, that's fine, that's good. But you should actually return something at the method level. If you are not doing this, then what I should write? For time being, I am writing as -1. Why? Because see, if I don't have any student which is not correct, or I'm passing the incorrect student name, then I am saying return -1 for that reason, because I don't want this method to give me warnings or errors. Fine. Now every block is having a return statement. Fine. But this is having a negative return statement that I am saying that you are passing some incorrect name. So pass it correct. Fine. This is one of the way to return things. Now, can we try it? Should we start trying it? Okay, let me just try to run, and then you'll tell me what is the error. Now tell me, am I able to print anything on this console? No. Why? Why is that so? All the code level logic I have written that I have some string name being passed, but where I am giving the string name, there is no caller function. So obviously I have to call this particular method to get my statements executed. What should I do? Obviously I should create a what? An object, a reference variable to refer this method, to call this method. And what? How should I do this? This is my student class. So this is my student class. I am saying is2 is equals to new student class, and in this way my new object is created. And as soon as my object is created, a copy of this particular method will be given to my object, this new student. Now, can I call this method? See this? Am I getting something? Get marks? Yeah, I am getting this thing. Get student marks. Now, see this. It is expecting, I told you yesterday, that this is what? Some input and some return type method. Fine. So I have to give some input. Input is what? It is expecting some names from my end. So let's suppose if I am giving a name Manish, what this will do? First of all, this will go on to this particular method, this student method. It will pass the name from my main method, Manish here. It is then going to print this particular statement, 14th one. Then it is going to come on this if statement that if my name is Nishant, no, this is not correct. So it will skip this statement. Then it is going to come on the else if 26 statement, going to check whether my name is now Manish. Yes, my name is Manish. So it is going to come inside this particular condition. 20th line, it is going to initialize the variables int. Then it is going to calculate the total marks, and it is going to return this total marks for me. Fine. Second thing. Now see this also and tell me what is the error now. What is the issue here? Whether I am able to get the marks or not. Can you see this? I am able to fetch this particular thing that your student name is Manish. It is correct. From where this line got printed? From here. From this first line. That your student name is Manish. But what about the marks? How should I fetch it? So I told you yesterday also, guys, that this is actually returning a statement. And if caller method or calling method is actually calling a particular method, and if that method is returning something, then we should store it inside the same data type. So this is actually returning me a what? Marks. So I should store it where? Something int marks. Any variable name I can take. Fine. So I'm just trying to store this student marks with the name Manish inside a variable of data type int in the marks. So can I print this now? And I can say what marks are what? Concatenation with your marks. Will this print the correct answer for me now? See this? Yeah, perfect. It is working fine. What it is doing? It is printing first of all, what is the name? Student name is Manish, going inside the else if condition, then taking the score as total 70. 70 minus 15 becomes 55. It is returning the total marks, and I am fetching or catching the total marks inside my marks variable and printing it. So this is working perfectly fine for me. Now let us just try to test the case for Nishant also. What answer it is returning for me? See this. See, now it is returning student name is Nishant and your marks is 85. Can we check this out? 90 minus 5, yes, it is obviously it is 85, and my student name is Nishan. So guys, I have created a reusable method that as soon as you try to enter some sort of a input from the a caller method, your code logic will work fine, should work fine for all the inputs. So this is what I am doing. I am passing the value from my caller method. So this is a case of my call by value. If you have heard call by reference, call by value in Java, so this is a case of call by value. That means I am calling that particular get student marks method by posting or putting a value to it. I'm calling that method. So this is also known as a call by value method. Fine. Okay, this is something. Now, can I test the negative scenario also, guys, where I don't want to pass any name like Nishant, Manish, or Meena? Huh? Can I just try to pass a Peter name, and we'll see what response it is returning to me right now. Student name is Peter. Now it is saying student not correct. Please check. Fine. And your marks is negative. Obviously, see, this negative thing has to be kept to make sure that the student name you are passing, the data you are passing, the input you are passing is actually not correct. So you have to make sure that I am returning something, what? A garbage value or some sort of a negative value, which is actually not correct. I could have passed 0 also, guys, here, or I could have just written here something like this 0. But was this correct? Because why? Student marks could be 0 also for a particular student. Fine. Let's suppose the total marks of a student that fetched is 50, and out of 50 he gave 50 incorrect answers. So 50 minus 50 becomes 0. In that case also, guys, that this code logic should have worked fine. So to make sure, if your student name is incorrect, we have to always give some negative return. Fine. So this is one of the case that I can have a multiple return statement in this way. Fine. But how about if I want to optimize this code and I don't want to write every time a return statement in the multiple if else block? See, this is a way you can actually work of returning a statement multiple times in a code in a method. But it is always recommended, guys, that you should have a one return statement in a method. In a single method, you should always have a one return statement. So how should I modify this to have a one return statement? And I don't want to write it multiple times. I return this. What can I do? Now see the modification. So what I'm trying to do, guys, in the method only, at method level, at local level, I'm trying to declare this total marks. Perfect. Fine. I have declared this total marks, and now I am saying what? Just remove this thing. Remove this return statement also. Remove this int. Remove this return statement. Again, remove this int, return statement, and return it from here also. Now, what I'm saying, try to understand. I have just put a local variable, a total marks, but I have not initialized it. So what it is saying, the method must return a result of type int. Perfect. I have not returned it anything. So let me just try to do what? Return the total marks at the end once your code level logic completes. So I am just saying return your total marks. Whatever your total marks will be there, it will be returned. But now see the error, what it is saying, that you have not initialized the total marks. Obviously, I cannot take any default value. You are trying to update the total marks with the score plus negative marks. It is fine for me, but at least try to give some value in the local level also. That I am just trying to say that initialize the total marks with 0. And then what you should do? Tell me. As soon as you see the Nishant, you come to this if condition. What you should do? You have your score 90. You have negative marks 5. You just need to update the total marks with score plus negative marks. So here also the score becomes what? 85. Here also now score becomes what? 55. And here the score becomes 75. Hai? Will this return the correct statement? Will this return the correct marks again? See, forget about Peter. What I'm saying, for Manish, I'm not making any other changes. The same thing input, I am just providing the same name. Now let us just see whether this is going to provide the correct output for me or not. See this, student marks is Manish and your marks are 55. Where is Manish? Yeah, Manish, 70 minus 15, 55. So in this case, guys, I am not returning multiple return statement in the every if and else condition. Fine. Now you can ask me, Nishant, just try to show me a case when you don't have a student actually there. So, okay, Let me Peter again. And what I'm trying to show now, run as. See, now see this. With what default value I have initialized the total marks? It is 0. So it is here correct. Student name is Peter. And your student not correct, it is please check. But marks, it is showing as 0. Is this the correct output I'm expecting? That if Peter is not present in the class, if Peter what name is not correct even in the school, how can you print his marks as 0? There can be many candidates, many students in the class whose values or whose marks are actually 0. They have scored 0. So how should we correct? How should we fix this minor bug? For that reason, we should always try to initialize a value with -1. Okay. So in this case, what will happen? That this is your initialization that you have done at the beginning. Fine. You can initialize your values at whatever default value you want to do. But make sure your code level logic should actually work for every case. Now, can I check? Will this work fine for me or not? See this. Now it is working perfectly fine. Why? Because your student name is Peter, which is not actually correct. So you should check it and then marks are negative because this is not correct. Now, is this looking, pretty clean? So this is how you should actually work with the return statements. Try to declare a variable at the local level, at the method level. Initialize, always initialize some value and make sure that your all the cases, all the conditions are getting passed. Fine. Now, will this work fine for Nishant or Meena? Just a second. What happening? Meena, will this work fine? Can you check? Okay. See this student name is Meena. Marks are 75. Perfectly working fine. No issue because this is negative marks that I have assigned it at the initial end. So this is second way of returning a statement when you only have a single statement to be returned at the end. Here, when your method is about to close. So this is the closing curly braces of your method. Okay, see this. This is starting curly braces. This is ending curly braces. So when all your code level logics are completed, okay, all your if else conditions are completed, try to return at that time. Always make it a habit because this will make your code clean. Okay, make you more coding effective and it will clear your things. Fine. Means you can have all your use cases catered with a single thing. I'm not saying the previous logic or previous way of returning the statement was incorrect, but the most recommended one is this one. Fine. I hope this is clear. Okay, so this is one way of returning the things when we have a condition in case of a if, else if, and else. Guys, why I am telling you this? Because see, understand, this is very, very important when you will be working onto the automation frameworks, after some time from now, you will understand how the things have to be returned. You have to return multiple things. Okay. You have to return a particular, what? A Boolean value also, some string value also, some array list also from a particular method. And that value will then be used in your further chaining of the methods. Now, can you see this? Why am I actually returning a value from there? Why? Understand now. If I'm saying that I'm just writing a condition that if your marks are greater than what? 50, then, or yeah, 50, then what should you do? You should print the mark sheet of that student. Otherwise, don't do. Okay? Else, what you should do? Do not print. Can you just try it again? In Meena, what I'm trying to say, just see this first of all. Let it be a positive case. So, see this. Okay, I should write in this else, otherwise it will take this particular part. Now see this again. What I'm trying to show. See, if my name is Meena, perfect. I got 75 marks. So, why I am returning the marks from a particular method? Because at the end, I want to write some code also, a logic also that if your marks are greater than 33, 34, or greater than 50, just pass the particular student or give him grade B, grade C, and print the mark sheet for the particular student. But if a particular student has got 0 marks or less than 50 marks, don't print the mark sheet. Now, can you just try it with a negative scenario? What is that? Same thing, Peter. Peter should actually get his marks. Should get his mark sheet printed. See this. See this. Student name is Peter. Your student is actually not correct. You should check it out. Marks he has got is -1, obviously, and don't print the mark sheet. So this is why I'm actually returning some statement from this particular method to be used inside or to make some sense. Fine. I want to use this particular marks in the further way, in the further conditioning I want to do. So this is how you should actually write your code. A logic should be there that why you are returning things. It's not about just you are returning something and you are being happy that I have returned something and I'm getting some values printed. No, make sure there is a logic behind. If you are returning something, then that should be used somewhere at least. Okay. So I hope this is clear for all of you now. Why I'm returning all these things and how there are different ways of returning. I can return in the different if else block also, fine, by writing it multiple times either, or as a recommended method, what I can do, I can just initialize a variable with that same name and I can have only one return statement at the end. Fine. Okay. Fine. Now, just see this another part where I'm just trying to say, I'll just do it quickly. I'm saying what a user class is there where I want to show you another way that if you want to return quickly, I'll do it. If you want to have a multiple return statement that is hard coded, see how I'm saying that public void, you have some, I want to generate some bill amount. Fine. And in this, do I'm expecting some parameter. Okay, I'm expecting the same name parameter that on the basis of name of a particular user, I want to generate a bill. It is any bill you can consider, just for trying to understand what I am writing. Okay. So if I am saying that if your name dot equals what, your Tom, name is Tom, then what should you do? You should write directly that your name is Tom. Fine. Rest what? Generate a bill for that particular student or a user and return directly 1,000. Can I do this? Huh? Let us just try to see with another condition and another condition. I'm just writing else if and another condition where I'm writing else if this is one and with the name Peter and J, and I'm saying return now 100 and you return what, 500. Perfect. And some semicolon is missing, and at last I am just writing again some else condition that your user is incorrect. Okay. I'm just trying to show you a way where I'm not assigning any sort of a variable. I have not taken any variable as I have taken in the case of your student, that I have taken some student negative total marks. But right now what I'm doing it here, I'm just directly returning some statement. Can I do this? First of all, see what is an error. Void method cannot return a value. That means I have to first convert it to integer. Why? Because this is my int value. Now, what is an error? See this. It is saying again, this method must return a result of type int. Why it is saying this? Because I am not returning anything in my else condition. Can I return again -1? Why? Since my user is incorrect, so obviously no bill is generated for him. Now, is my method correct now? No error, no warning. Is this correct way? Yeah, you can do this in this way also, that without any variable, assigning any variable, you can just directly hard code something and you can return from that statement. Fine. We'll just try to test it out. So for Peter, 500 is the bill. For J, 100 is the bill. And if you have any other users, then Peter, J, and this Tom, you will be getting some incorrect user ID, some user, and you'll be getting some return as -1. So quickly, we'll just try to create a object for this particular user. Oh, just sorry. User u is equals to new user. And what else I'm saying? I just want to call this particular method, which is a generate bill amount. Fine. And I want to enter the name. What is the name? I am having a name as Tom. And do I have any return thing? Yes, I have a return of 1,000. First of all, try check this out. Will this generate a correct output for me or not? Your name is Tom, correct? But where is my bill amount? Huh? I have to store it somewhere because this is returning, this method is returning something. Fine. Now, okay, I am just storing it inside a bill and I am saying what? Print the bill also. Bill is concatenating with what? Your bill. Fine, which it got returned. Will this now generate success things for me? See this. Your name is Tom and your bill is 1,000. What about Peter? Will this work fine for him also? See, your name is Peter and your bill is 100. Now, what about if I am saying Manish now? Do I have any Manish here? Jay, Peter, and Tom I am having? No Manish. So let us just try to see this negative scenario also. What this is going to return, guys. See, your user is incorrect and bill is negative. So in this way also, we can actually return things from a particular method, from a particular if-else condition. But now you tell me, guys, is this the correct way of hard coding things? Hard coding directly the bill without putting any sort of a business logic, without any calculations, without any, some doing anything. You're just directly returning something from there. You can returning anything. You can return some Boolean value directly. You can return some character, string, anything you can return. But is this the correct way? Is it going to suffice as a requirement? What is the use case we are trying to hit in this case? If your name is Tom, then that's fine. But you should have some calculations on your bill amount, that you have utilized this much of electricity and you were not present in your home for this many days. There should be some ways, huh? Some code logic, some business logic should be written. Then you should return something. You're directly hard coding a value, you're directly hard coding this amount and you're returning it. This will work fine as a part of syntax, as a part of compilation. This is nowhere incorrect. But the code logic is not correct. It is not going to suffice your requirement, suffice your need, not your acceptance criteria, nor your requirements from the client. So always make sure that yes, you can have multiple return statement in a method with different if-else block, fine, but that should be some logical. Second thing, instead of having multiple return statement in a method, always try to make it a habit and a good practice. You should assign something at your local level variable. Now, I'll just try to modify. I'll take a minute or two for this thing, and then we will move forward. I'm just saying what in bill amount, I'm just trying to initialize with 0 because in the local variable I have to initialize, and I'm saying now what? Bill amount is equals to update this with 1,000. Okay. Here also update your bill amount with 500. And here also update your bill amount with what? 100. And instead of 0, since I have to suffice my negative scenario also, I am saying initialize the bill amount with -1, not with 1, -1, fine. And I am saying that whatever bill now you are getting, or whatever code logic, now you can write it here like this. How? Like let it be, if I'm saying what? Instead of 1,000, I can write a code level logic also, but let it be I'm just trying to explain you how I can store inside a variable. Fine. So 1,000, 100, and this is something. Now, do I need to have anything in this sphere? No, I don't want to have this. I can just directly return at the method level also. Return bill amount. Do I need to return it every statement? Do I need to have multiple return statement? No. Why? Because I am assigning a value to it. I am updating the value of the bill amount, which was initialized at the initial go. Okay. No return statement. Nothing is there. Inside else also nothing is there. Should my code work now here with a Manish name where my user is incorrect? Let us just try to see this. See this. User is incorrect. Bill is -1. Can we try it with Peter? See this. Yeah, correct. Your name is Peter and your bill is 500. So this is the correct way that you can initialize your variable at the method level, at the local level, initialize some value, and then you can write whatever logic you want to write it, update the bill amount with that amount. Okay. I hope this is clear to you now. Okay. So there are some rules of return statement. What is that? We should always try to have only single return statement in a method. Then you should not have any return statement in the if-else block. You can have that. It's not restrictions to you. As I have told you, you can have that. But as a better code writing practice, make sure you're not writing multiple what return statements in a if else condition. Otherwise, you will be in a complex situation to know where I should actually return something. Instead of that, you should have just one return statement at the method level. Wherever your method block is ending, before that, just try to write a return statement. Okay. Okay. Now, I'll just try to show the same thing with one more scenario. This is my if else conditions I have cleared up with you. Now let us just try to take a switch case also, guys. And there we will see. So I'm taking classes browser, and we will be working on how my things are working fine in case of your switch case. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is my browser class now. Okay, what browser class is expecting? It is expecting that now client requirement is that you should actually launch your browser, launch your code in a particular browser based upon some input parameter of browser name you are getting. This is my now acceptance criteria, my requirement. What is the requirement? That you should create a function in such a way that your caller method is giving some input in terms of your browser name. It can be Safari, Opera, Edge, Firefox, something like this. And on the basis of that, you have to launch your coding script on that particular browser. But try to use some return statement as a part of code level logic. How should I do this? See this. Public for initial starting, I should write always a void because it's not yet decided what I'm going to return. Fine. So public void, I am saying launch browser. And what is the parameter I am expecting? I am expecting as browser name is the parameter I am expecting for my caller method. Whosoever is calling this particular method, I am going to give that name at that runtime only. Fine. Now, what is the code level logic I'm going to write? First of all, I'm just trying to print that your browser name is what? Your browser name, which is coming from the here. Okay. Now, what else? I should now write a switch case. Control shift, and you have to control shift, and you have to use the switch case statement. It is going to generate a template for you. What should I write in the key? Obviously, a browser that you have done, guys, previously, correct? So dot, I'm just saying to lowercase, and that to trim also. I have already told you all these things. Fine. Okay. So whatever browser name I am passing without spaces, with spaces, capital letters, lower letters, I'll be always making it a lowercase and then trimming the white spaces. Fine. What is the key I'm expecting? First of all, I'm expecting your browser can be a Chrome. Fine. And I'm writing what? Some not conditions. I'm just writing a simple code level logic like launching browser in what? Chrome. Okay. What is I should say? Fine. Okay. I'm just copying it and pasting it multiple times. Okay, fine. 4 cases I am taking, guys, and this is the default case. I'm just for clarity purpose, I am doing what? I'm just first of all taking Edge here, and I'm launching browser and Edge. What I'm doing now, second, third case. This is my third case. What this case is saying that you should have your a browser and Opera, and then what should do? Launch a script in Opera. Next, what? You have your Safari, okay, and your Firefox. Fine. I am writing Safari here quickly, and I am writing Firefox here. Perfectly fine. I'll just give it a syntax correction, a formatting, and breaking it. This is the statement I know that this is the break statement and all these. I have to actually write it down. Now, what in case of your default you want to give? If in case my browser that I am passing is not correct or it's not present in my code logic, what should I write? Your browser name is incorrect. Perfect. Okay, break it. So this is now what I know. I have worked on this particular part and I am perfect in this case. But now what I'm trying to write, how can I write return statement here? Tell me. So my condition is that as soon as you launch a browser in a particular browser, you just return some Boolean value, either true or false. That means your browser has been launched onto that particular browser and you're returning a true or a false value from that particular method. How should you do that? First of all, see this. a normal case, what I'm trying to say, see this. I'm saying that if your browser is Edge, okay, then return true, and that's fine. If your browser is Opera, if someone passed your browser Opera, return true, break it. Okay. If someone passed your browser as Safari, return true, break it. Someone passed your browser as Firefox, return true and break it. But if someone passed your browser as incorrect, so return what? False, not true this time, and break it. Now, two, three things, and as a part of interview question also, why I'm getting error here? Hmm? Another rule of return statement. What? What? First of all, it is returning something, so I should write it Boolean here. Perfect. Is your error gone? Yes, my error is gone from my return statement, but it comes to the error now break. Why break is showing red mark here? Now see this, guys. It is showing as unreachable code. Can you see this? Hovering on this particular part, it is saying that fixes quickly. It is an unreachable code. Means if your browser you are passing is correct, and if your switch case matches, so you are launching your browser on Edge. That means you're returning true from there. That means as soon as you return from that particular condition, your entire switch case breaks. Then will it go to one break part? Obviously, it becomes an what? Unreachable code for you. Huh? That's why make it a habit that you should never have break and a return statement together in a switch case. Always remember this thing. Otherwise, there will be a unreachable code for you, because return is obviously doing the same thing. It is actually returning some value from there and breaking that particular condition for you. Can we try it now? Whether this thing will work fine or not? What should I do? I should create an object of a browser, like browser b is equals to new browser, uh, browser, perfect. And I am just calling this particular method what is the method? A launch browser. And what should I give a value here? Let me give a value as Chrome. Fine. First of all, let's just see what it is going to print me for me. Your browser. Okay, see this first of all. What's happening here? Hmm? Your browser name is Chrome. Now it is saying your browser name is incorrect because it just passed to my this default condition also. Hmm? Correct. As I told you earlier also, if you don't have any break, the loop will keep on passing. Hmm? So first of all, it just went on to this where it is your Chrome. Just a second. Just a second. It is where is my Chrome? I've written Edge, Opera, Safari, Firefox. Uh, just a second. Did mistake something? Your is Chrome you're passing perfect. Okay, yeah. Can you see this, guys? I have not written the Chrome also. That's fine. I've written only for four browsers: Edge, Opera, Safari, and Firefox. I don't have any Chrome. That's why it is returning this thing. Why? That you have passed a Chrome browser, but Chrome browser is not present according to the logic. So what it is saying, that first of all, it is printing this statement that your browser name is Chrome, but since you don't have any Chrome in your code level logic, so your browser name is incorrect. You cannot launch your script. Perfect. But tell me one thing, I'm returning something from this also, na? I'm returning false. But where is the false? So I am returning something, but I am not storing it somewhere. So where should I store it? I will store it inside my some sort of a Boolean value. Okay. And I can print this Boolean value. Now see this, whether this is going to return true or false for me. See this, your browser name is Chrome, but your browser name is incorrect. So I'm returning false. So two things what we learned from here, that first of all, you cannot have a return statement and a break statement together in a switch case. Okay. Second thing, right now what I'm doing, I'm hard coding the value. Can I do some little modification on this case? Can I do something like this? What? I'm just saying that in the initial declaration, I am saying I am taking a Boolean flag as what? As false. Okay. And as soon as my browser name becomes equal to whatever I am passing from my user input, what it should do? It should actually update my browser name to true. Okay. Is this fine? And here also, ठीक है, here also true. Now in this I don't need now any return statement. Why? Because obviously by default this particular thing is what? False. So it should return that same thing only. But now where should I write my return statement? I don't have any return here now. I have just updated my value with true or false. I told you we have to write just before my method ends. So can I write as return flag here? Hmm? So by default, the flag value I've taken as false, and based upon my user input, whether it is Chrome, Edge, or Safari, it is going to update my flag value to true or false, then return from there. Okay, need not to break that particular part. Okay, and I'm returning a flag at end. But now tell me one thing, guys, whether this code will work fine for me now. We'll just see this. First of all, see this. I'm just passing the incorrect value as Chrome. Fine. I am expecting flag to be false. That is fine. But see this, whether I'm getting the correct value now. Hmm? Your browser name is Chrome. It is incorrect. I'm getting false. Fine. It is fine. Now, can I just test it with the edge also? Check it with the edge. See this. This is what I want to show you. Why it is giving me so many lines of issues. See, first of all, as soon as I am passing edge here, it is going to come on launch browser, pass the edge here, then it is going to print your browser name is edge. Perfect. It initialize my value with false, first of all. Then it is going to go on my case first, edge, fine. It is going to say that launching browser on edge, perfectly fine. Then it updated the flag value to true, okay. But now, since I don't have any break statement, it is going to go on my second condition also that I have told you earlier also. I told you return and break cannot be together, but for a switch case, we should always have a break. So right now I don't have any return here. I should keep a break here. Otherwise, it will keep on going. Then it will keep on launching Opera, Firefox, Safari, and then at last, it is going to come on the default statement also saying your browser name is incorrect. Huh? Correct? I think you are getting now. So what should we do this to make things work for me? Nothing. Same thing. I'll just want to uncomment this break because I don't have right now the return statement. है ना? That means I can have now break here. Will this work fine? Same thing. Nothing more changes. And I'm going to show you whether this will work fine or not for me now. See this. Your browser name is Edge. Perfect. You have passed Edge here. Okay. That is fine. I am going on to the case Edge. I am checking whether this is Edge only. Then I am going to launch your browser on the Edge. And I am updating your browser or your flag value to true. I am bringing it from there. And as soon as I am breaking this particular loop, I am just passing or returning this last value because I break this entire thing from here till entire switch case I broke down, but I want to pass this last value also, return flag. And I am fetching this value inside this flag, or I can just write it flag 2 if you will get an issue here. Okay? And print it. That is what I want to show you, that if you're writing return statement multiple times in a if else condition or in a switch case, it is going to create an error for you somehow, in the future. That's why make it a habit that pass or initialize some values, whatever you are going to return by its default value. Like for int, you should initialize by -1 or 0. For boolean, you should initialize it with false. For a string, you should initialize it with what? For a null value. In this case, you should work. So in this now entire program, do I have multiple return statement? No, only single return statement here at last before the method ends. Do I have the break statement? Yes, my syntax are correct. The only thing which I am doing is initializing my values at the initial end. Then I am updating my values based upon my logic, my code logic, whatever I have written. Okay. Will this work fine for my all the cases? Yes, it will work fine. Can I just pass it Chrome here? Which browser not present? See this, what I am getting now? Whether I get true or false. See, the browser name is Chrome. Your browser is incorrect and it is returning false. I hope it is clear to you now. Huh? Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create a separate, it's more of these return statements. Now I'll create a we'll work on some methods concept. What? So I just want to tell you what are the different rules for a particular methods to be there. Okay. First of all, first of the rule is, guys, you cannot have nested methods. Means this is a main method, or what I'm doing, I'm trying to write some sort of a small method for you as an void test method. This is a small method, and in this method I am trying to say that Nishan, try to have one more method as a test two method. Will this work fine? Hmm? No, you cannot have a nested methods. Fine, this is incorrect. Incorrect way of writing a code. Means you can't have methods within methods. This you should always keep in mind. Fine. Nested functions are not allowed. Why? Because functions are always created in parallel. How? This is one of the function I created. Fine. In the parallel to it, I am going to create one more function with a different name as test2. That means whatever functions I am going to create, that will be independent of each other. It will be created inside the parallel. No nested is allowed. No function inside function is allowed. Fine. Three things we have seen for the rules for the method. No nestification is allowed. Method inside method is not allowed. Okay. You should always have your methods in the parallel. Okay. All the methods work as an independent entity. Now, next what? Very important thing coming. Next what? Let us just try to see, and I'm just deleting this out because I'm going to write some logical function for you, and then I'll tell you what is the next rule for the method. See, guys, this is a very, very important thing from your entire automation framework logic. No one is going to tell you all these small concepts, because once you know, you're going to work well in your automation things, because that's what the final demand from your end. Huh? Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I am saying that what I want to calculate a salary for a particular individual. Okay, for a particular salaried person, I want to calculate a salary. Fine. Okay. And for calculating salary, what all things I need? First of all, as an input parameter, I need some basic salary, some base salary I need. Fine. Then a person can have some incentives. Obviously, he can have that. Then a person obviously will be having some tax deductions also. And at last, I am saying he must be having some variable pay. Fine. Perfect. Okay. A variable pay, a performance bonus, something like this you can consider. So four input parameters I am taking for now for this particular function to calculate my salary. Okay. Right now my function is returning what? Void. It is not returning nothing, but it depends upon my code logic what I want to return from this. So guys, one more important thing, just try to understand that whatever my parameters are, either it is int type, string type, boolean, character, it does not depend upon my return value. I can actually return a string value also from this method. I can return a boolean value. I can return a character value also. It does not depend upon my parameters what I'm passing. If you will consider that, Nishant, if you are passing int here, so I have to return a int. No, that purely depends upon you. I can just return what? I can return a Nishant here. See, just for making you understand, I can return Nishant from here or Manish from here, and I'm just putting it here and just updating this value as, see this, creating any issue? No issue. Depends upon my logic. Fine. Okay. But now my logic is saying that I want to calculate the a total salary of that particular individual. Okay. How can I do this? So just a simple code logic. I'm not doing very high level of coding, but I'm saying just simple thing. Total salary, I'm saying is what? Base salary. Plus I am saying you just add some incentives also, and you now deduct some tax from here. Okay. Oh, tax. Okay. Then do what? I want to return a salary whatever you have got. So if I am now returning int here, what should I write? I should write int here. Perfect, no error, nothing is there. So what I'm doing, I'm just trying to use these three values, base salary, incentives, and tax, and I'm returning this total salary from this particular method. Perfect for me. What should I do to make this work? First of all, I have to create a method concept m is equals to object of it. Perfect. And can I now call a method directly? Calculate salary. Now see this. What I'm getting here, guys, I'm getting four arguments to be added as a value. What are these arguments? See this. First of all, I'm hovering over this particular method. It is saying you have to pass int base salary, int incentives, and then you can just come down and check it here. The tax variable pay, you have to pass it. So now consider two cases. First of all, I'm saying just my base salary is 10,000, and what I am having some incentives of 1,000 rupees, and my tax deductions is 500, and my what some variable pay is 2,000. Okay. Now, since I'm calling this method, so it is actually returning a total salary. I should catch it somewhere, store it somewhere. Int value it is returning, so I should store it inside my salary or any variable I can take it. And I just want to print this particular salary also at the end. Perfect. Perfect. Correct. No high level of coding. Okay. Can I just try to run this particular method and see what I'm getting? I'm getting 10,500. How? 10,000 plus 1,000, that means 11,000, and minus 500, it becomes 10,500. Perfect. But Nishant, you have passed 2,000 also here. What about that? Huh? First of all, as a bad coding practice, I have not included the value of a parameter that I am actually passing it here. I am passing 2,000 as a variable pay from my calling method. This is going 2,000 is going inside the variable pay, but I have not written a code to actually use this variable pay. So how should I expect a return from there, a correct salary? So guys, the fourth important rule for this thing is that method should have those parameters which has to be used either now or in future. You cannot just have a method parameters vaguely. That let it be. I want to have 20 parameters, let it be. But I don't want to use. No. If you don't want to use, don't include it. If you want to use, there should be some business use case. There should be some logic written for that also. Now, how can I fix this minor bug that I'm having this in this code right now? That I'm saying, Nishant, I want to enter this variable pay, but sometimes what happen na, for a particular employee, someone gets a zero variable pay also. Sometimes they don't get the variable pay, and sometimes they get the variable pay. So how should I include this condition in my case? See, now guys, we can actually include some sort of a Boolean. Understand this now. A Boolean variable also saying that is your variable pay applicable? And on the basis of this Boolean variable, I have to now calculate my total salary. How? See this. Before returning, what I'm saying that if your if your variable pay is applicable, means this condition is where it is, means if is applicable, or if your condition is true, means you are passing something true from here from the calling method. In that case, what should you do? You should actually update a total salary with what? Total salary plus your what? Variable pay, and then return your total salary at the end. But in the else condition, if you don't have any variable pay, or if you are saying your is applicable is false, you don't have any variable pay, then in this case, what should you do? Huh? Do nothing. Just pass this return total salary only. Huh? Do I need to write any logic here? No. So this is the return statement only that is saying the else condition, that if your applicable is true, in that case only add your variable pay to the total salary. Otherwise, just return the total salary as it is only. Now, what changes I have to make it here now? See this. As soon as I am doing control shift, it is asking me 5 arguments to be added here. What is these? Base salary, incentives, tax value, your Boolean if it is applicable, and int variable pay. So what should I do here? Same thing I am writing, that I want to have 10,000 as my base salary, 1,000 as my incentives, and I am having some 500 as a tax deduction, and I don't have any variable pay. So I'm just passing a false from here. False from here, I am doing zero. And I am having a zero variable pay. Perfect. If you have a zero variable pay, see this. And I want to print the salary also at the end. Perfect. You don't have any variable pay. Let it be. Can I see this if I am having this code correct? See, 10,500. I don't have any variable pay. But if in case you have a variable pay, Nishan, and what is your variable pay? 1,000 only. And you are passing true from here. What is the change it is going to make? It is going to check if your boolean is applicable. Yes, it is applicable. Then whatever your salary comes after deduction, it is going to add the variable pay also. See this. Now see the change. See, it becomes 11,500. 1,000 rupees are added because of this boolean flag that you have added, and on the basis of that you had added the variable pay also. So guys, this is how you have to write a code. You have to understand a different logics, that how you can implement them. You cannot just have your method parameters without making them use in your code. If you're adding them, use it. If you're not adding them, obviously it's of no use. But if you're adding, and if that variable has to be used sometimes, try to have some condition before on that. Perfect. Huh? Am I making sense? Okay. I hope things are clear to you and it's crystal clear now. Because we have talked a lot now on return statements, some coding best practices, how we should write the methods. Now, I just want to show you one more thing, guys, as a part of your return statement only, as a rules for return statement, that Nishant, can I have multiple return statements in a method? Like if I want to return string also and I want to return integer also in the same method, can I have that? Okay, I'll just take another class. I don't want to mess this up. So I'm just taking a customer class. Okay. And this customer class is saying what? So before working on this thing, I want to show you the question, can I have multiple return statements? See, I'm just writing a void and I'm writing a test method just for time being to make you understand that what can we have. I'm just saying it's a test method, a simple code. It's a test method, but I'm saying at last return what? Some name from here. I want to return a Nishant name from here, but I want to return some integer also from here. First of all, see this. What is an error here? Void methods cannot have a return value. Perfect. I know this thing. Can I make it to string? I know this thing. Perfect. Error is gone from here now. What about this? Cannot convert from int to string. That is trying to say that obviously, Nishant, if you have already returned this particular statement as an string value from this method, how can you return the second statement? Now, the question is, can I return a different name from here with the same data type? Like Manish, if I want to return, can I do this? Okay, we can check this. Now see the error. Unreachable code. Why? Guys, see, if this statement is already returned, why would it go to this here? As I have shown you in case of your switch case, like your break and your return statement can never be together. So return statement, guys, is always the last statement of the method. Understand this also. After return statement, your code becomes unreachable, your code becomes dead. It's not going to reach. It's neither going to print a single value for you. Even if you're just going to say, just now just Nishan, print something like star, star, star for me also from this thing. No, it is not going to do this. Why? See, again, unreachable code, because you have already written something from here. As soon as you returned it, a compiler know now this is a bad coding practice or a bad syntax you're writing. You cannot have a code after return. So return is the last statement of any method. Understand this. This will make you a good coder. Okay, fine. I told you two things. Return is the last statement of a particular method. And second thing, you cannot return either multiple data types from the method, or you cannot return multiple statements of the return with a single data type. That means return has to be the last statement. Only one return is acceptable in a particular method. You cannot have multiple returns. Fine. I hope this is cool. But Now you can ask me a question, Nishan. Now tell me a case where I want to return a multiple values. Like I want to return the Nishant also, Manish also. Like I have a database, and from database I am fetching some values. I am fetching a list of users, and I want to actually return that list of users to be used in my code further on. How should I do this? What is the use case, or how can you fix this bug if I want to return multiple values from the particular method? So yes, we have a fix for this particular thing. And what is that? So for this, consider you have a customer class. Fine. A customer can be anyone. So the customer is going on Amazon website, and he is adding multiple products to his name. Like there can be multiple customers. We can consider three customers. First of the customer is adding all the Apple based products to his name in the cart. Second customer is adding all the Samsung based products, and third customer is actually adding some Android products to his name. So can we just try to create this method? Huh? And then we will see. Now requirement is you have to return list of products from a website based on the customer name. Like a customer name is Nishan, so he is having some Apple products which he has added to the cart in the Amazon site, and I want to list or return the list of that uh, or the entire three, four products, whatever he has added to his name in the Amazon cart. Same, if I have a Manish name, I want to return all the list of Samsung products, whatever he has added from his cart in the login page. Can I do this? How can I do this? So this is a requirement clear to me. Now, what should I do this? I'm just writing a public void and get list of product method. Fine. On the basis of what? I want to have the string parameter as input name. Fine. So as soon as I passing a name to that particular method, on the basis of my name only, it is going to fetch all the product list, going to return to me. Fine. Understood. What should I write now? Can I write if condition? If your name dot equals what? If your name is Nishant, then do what? Return a list of product. But now where you are going to store a list of product? Hmm? Any idea? I have two ways. Multiple ways I'm having, but uh, for now, two ways I'm just showing you. Why? Because you know these two ways. I've already discussed with you a lot in the past sessions. And these are the way of using arrays. Correct? You know array can actually hold multiple values of the similar data type and also multiple data type. Fine. So right now I am storing a list of products only. So these are the string values. For that reason, I can use the two things. Either I can use an array, a normal static arrays, or I can guys use a array list. Fine. Okay. So let us just try to use an array list only. How should I initialize the array list? Huh? So array list, I want to have it from the string. Fine. And I am saying product, and I am saying new array list, and string type, data type is the string, and I want to have that array list initialized. Now, what I want, I am saying that array list has a reference of product. So with the help of that product, if you remember, what is the method? I have to add something. What is the method for that? Product dot add. So what I want to store? I want to store IMAC. Next, I want to store what? Multiple products. I'm just copying it and I'm writing it paste, paste, paste. I want to store it what? MacBook. I want to store an what? Um, Apple Watch. And I want to store it what? iPhone. Perfect. So this array list now holds all these products for this name. What about different name if I'm having? Let me just try to copy it and just write two more names for you with the else if condition. Else if condition. Oh, else if, and I want to have a name like Manish, and I want to have name like Peter, or I want to have a name like John. But in this, I want to have only two products, and in this, I want to have okay, three products. What are the two products I want to have? Android. I'm just writing, just a default something value, Android phone, and I want to have some what MI pad, Android based. In this, I want to have some watch, Samsung watch, a smartwatch. Samsung Z Fold I'm writing, and inside I'm writing Samsung A45, whatever it is there. So these are the phones. Fine, perfect. So three users, John, Manish, and Nishant came to the Amazon website. They searched for some product. They have added the list of products through their name to the add to the cart product. And what I'm trying to do on the basis of the name that I'm going to pass from the calling method, okay, I have written an if else condition that if your name is Nishant, fetch this list of product. If your name is Manish, fetch this list of product. If your name is John, fetch all this list of product and return to me now. Now, you tell me, where should I add a return statement? Hmm? Here, after this line, in the if condition, else if or what? I have to, guys, write else condition also, that what? Your name is not correct. Fine. Obviously, make it sure that you are writing if else condition also. Otherwise, code won't work. It will create some issues. Fine. Now, where should I actually what? Return my statement? Can I try to return at the last? Will this work fine for me? If I am trying to say return what? Return this product only in which you have actually stored all the values in this product. Can I return this variable name? Yes, I have to do that. But can you tell me what return type now I should add it here? Should I add string, integer, boolean, or what? Now see this. Try to understand. The data type where I have stored all the values is of what data type? It is of array list. So I have to return, since I am what returning an array list, I have to use array list here as a return statement. I have to use this thing. I cannot just directly write string because I am actually returning a list of an array, a list of strings, and not the only string values. Can I check if this work fine? Code is looking simple for me, fine for me. No errors, no issues as a compile time error. What should I do to make this run? First of all, obviously, I have to create a object of this particular class. What is the class? I have a class customer. I am writing cu as new customer class. Okay. How should I call my method? Cu dot what? What is the method I just created? It's forget it. Get, I'll just see. Yes, get list of product. Now, on the basis of name only, it is going to fetch a list of product for me. Now, one more thing, guys. Tell me now. In the earlier examples, I have stored it inside an integer and I have stored it inside some string value. But now, since this method is returning what? A list of string, a array list of string. So I should be storing it where? Huh? In the array list of string only. How? So I have to use the same return type. Like what? I'm just storing it inside the p variable and I'm saying whatever products you have written for the student for the customer name Nishan, just try to print it directly. Okay. Can I just try to test this code now? See this. First of all, I'm just trying to customer name is what? Your name is name. And then let us just try to write it again. See, customer name is Nishant and was what Nishant has picked in his add to cart, iMac, MacBook, Apple Watch, and iPhone. The same thing I have stored it inside the list of what array list of strings in the product reference variable. And the same thing I am returning it at last. And as soon as I have written this array list, so obviously I have to store it inside the array list variable only. So variable name, I can take anything like pro product, anything I can take. That's totally depend upon me. Fine, but that should not be what duplicate. Can I test it for some different name like John also I am having? Will this going to return the correct value for me? See this customer his name is John. Now he has some Samsung A45 Samsung, sorry, just written some incorrect spelling. Samsung Z Fold and Samsung Watch. He's having three things. Can I test it for Manish? And then we will test it for the negative use case. Okay, so Manish is having only two Android products. What are these? Android phone and MI pad. What about Meena or Peter? Since I don't have that, see this now. Will this going to return any list for me? Huh? Tell me now. See this. See, your customer name is Peter. Name is not correct, and the list I'm returning is 0. I don't have anything. Correct? One more thing, what you can do, guys, just for your debugging and for your coding things that depends upon you, you can also try to print the size of that particular list. So for the array list, what is the method to get the size? It is the size only. Perfect. Now, can I see this for Peter? What is the size of this list? 0. What is the size of the list for Nishant? See this now. See, 4 products are there in his add to cart page. Hmm? So understand, I told you what function can only return one value at a time. And if you want to return the multiple values from the function, it's better to store them where? Either inside a static array, fine, or inside a array list. Huh? Now, one more important concept. I hope this is clear to you now. One more important concept, otherwise we'll lose the link. I'll just create a one more class for you guys as a testing class. Fine. And in this, I am having what? This is very, very important concept now, guys. All the things are important, but this is some sort of intermediate topics that we have to cover in my Java also. What are these? So now tell me, can we create multiple methods with similar name? Like, so I just want to write some method rules also now. Which I have already written inside this method concept. Fine. But some more method rules. What are these? Can we have a duplicate method name? Like, this is a method that I've created and I don't want to, I let it be like test method. I'm not worried about coding part right now, but I want to test some other things. Can I have a duplicate method with the same name? Duplicate method in the type testing, it's not allowed. So what is first thing? You can't have duplicate method names. Perfect. Okay. What should I do? I'll just replace it with the test2. It's working fine now. Now I'm just going to delete this method and let it be like test method only one thing. So can you tell me what is this type of method? It is no return type, no input. Fine. No input parameters there, no return type is there. So it's just a normal method. Now, what should I do if I want to keep the same name of this method, but I want to have some integer parameter as an a? I want to have a parameter of data type int with variable a. Can I have this? Yes, you can have. So I can create a duplicate method, but with what? A different data type. Okay. Now, can I create this same method with again with this thing? No, I cannot. But can I use two data types now? Yeah, I can use. So two data type which are of similar data type like int only, I can have this with the same name. Okay. Now, can I have same name of the method but with different data type? Yes, I can have that also. First of all, I am having a data or method test with an integer a as an parameter, and second method I am having with an string name as an parameter. Huh? I'm just putting it here. Fine. What else? Now, can I have data with string name 1 and string name 2? Yes, I can have. Now, tell me, can I have the same method of integer again with the 2? If I'm even changing the values also, int d and c, can I have this two methods again? No. Why? Because it is having the similar data type. But tell me, if I am having this thing like one string, one int, Will this work fine? Yes, it will work fine. Now tell me one more thing. Can I have the similar method now with the string C and D? No, I cannot. But what if I am changing the position of this thing, parameters like int D, and I am saying what string C? Can I have this? Yes, now I can have this. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here? Hmm? Tell me, guys. First of all, I'm just writing for your reference. Position changed. ठीक है. Two param with different data types. Two param with similar data types. But different from another similar method. One param, hmm? One param method with different data type. Huh? What is this? No parameter method. So what is the thing that I am trying to tell you guys right now? What is the thing? Hmm? So this is a use case whenever you have in a class, when you have multiple methods, when you have the same name of that particular method. Okay. So in this way you can do. In this way, you won't be having any errors. So what are the different ways I can have the duplicate methods allowed with the same name? First of all, you cannot have the duplicate methods name, but you can have duplicate methods name when, tell me, when your parameters are different. Fine. Second, count of parameters are different. Third, sequence or position of the are different. Huh? I can have that just to support my answer. See, when parameters are different, like this is a int, this is a string, one parameter, but these are different parameters. I can have that with the same method. Yes, I can have that. Second is what? Count of parameters are different. This is a string name, one parameter. This is a string name one, two parameters. I can have that. Yes, I can have that. Similarly, int a and int ab, I can have that. Yes, I can have that. What is the third thing? Sequence and position of the parameters are different. In that case also, my method won't be counted as a duplicate method. There is an example. See this. I have written string cd, and now you have written int and string then. So the sequence has been changed. First string, then int, and then it becomes a int and string. So in this case also, since your position or sequence changed, you can have a duplicate method. Okay. Now, next what? Important thing. Does return type matter? You can ask me a question that Nishan, what if I'm saying that you just have this particular method again for me, but with a different return type? Can I have this test method and I want to have a name int something like int e, but here I want to do what? I want to return some statement like 10, and in this I am just trying to just write this. No, you cannot have. See this. What is you are getting? Duplicate method in the type testing. That means you cannot have a you cannot create a duplicate method with the change return type. So return type matters. Huh? You cannot have duplicate method with changed return type. You should always have the same return type. Fine. Okay. So these are the ways you can create a duplicate methods. And now I am going to tell you a term. This is not duplicate. This is a method overloading that you are doing. Hmm? This is a very important special term from the interview perspective also, that what is method overloading and what are the different rules for method overloading. So guys, these I am doing the method overloading. How? I am overloading this particular test method with different parameters, with different data types, with multiple or count of parameters, with the sequence of parameters getting changed, huh? All these ways. But return type should be similar. So this I am doing the method overloading. I'll tell you the practical use case. There are a lot of practical uses of method overloading. Give me 4 minutes. Okay. So now we understand what? That we can actually overload a method with the same name, but with different parameters, different sequence of parameters, different count of parameters, different data types of parameters. But return type should be same. So what is the use case of this thing? Huh? First of all, I'm just trying to create what? I'll take 2 more minutes, guys. Just a second. Testing T is equals to new testing. Fine. Now what I'm trying to see this. As soon as I'm writing T dot what? Test method. Can you see multiple test methods comes to me now? Like I can use this with a return type of void. Test method no parameter. I can use this int a also. I can use the test method with the string name parameter. I can have the 2 parameter also method name. I can use the parameter with the integer and string, and I can use with a string and int. Apart from that, I can have 2 string parameters also. So that means when you decide which method to call at compile time, fine, that becomes what? Compile time polymorphism for you. Okay. So what is polymorphism? Hmm? It is divided into 2 terms, poly and morphs. Means multiple forms of same thing or a method. So I am having a same method name with test, but I am just trying to create a multiple forms out of it. Why? Because of my use case. I'm just going to tell you, just give me 2 more minutes, the practical use case, but try to understand. When I am going to decide that which method to call at compile time, see this. Either I can call int a method also with a name method also, int a also. So this becomes a compile time polymorphism, means my binding of the method called to the method is taking place at the compile time. Okay. So that becomes a compile time polymorphism. Or this compile time polymorphism is also known as what? Is also known as what? Static binding or static polymorphism. Okay. And what? It is called as method overloading. Okay. Now, another important point is, guys, that method overloading will always work in your single class, in a similar class. Like this is a testing class. So I can actually overload a method in this same class only. I cannot do this outside of the class in the different class or in a different package. So method overloading works with what? Same method has been called with different parameters. Count of parameters are different. Return type is not to worry about, but the sequence of parameters matters. So this method calling, which is happening at the compile time, it is called as a compile time polymorphism or a static binding or a static polymorphism, or we called it as a method overloading. Fine. This is very important interview question, that what is polymorphism and what are 2 different types of polymorphism. So first form is what? Method overloading. Second, I'll be telling you the next session what is method overriding. Fine. That we do actually in the next different classes. But this method overloading is being done in the single similar class. Fine. Now, understand what are the real-time use cases for this thing. Okay. Let it be like this. I hope you understand now. What is this? A real-time use case. I'm just trying to create a. Just take 5 more minutes, guys. Otherwise, I'll break from the link. Real-time use case. polymorphism. Fine. So now visualize a case. What case? You have a login class, you have a login page of a particular application, and client has said you that what? Repti, do just try to create multiple methods in such a way that you can have what? I'm just telling you that you can actually log in without providing any credentials to that particular page. Okay. Then what you can have? You can actually have some username also, and you can have what your password. Fine. By providing username and password also, you can log into that particular page. Then what? If you only have a username, that can also suffice my need. You can log in that way also. Apart from that, I am saying you have a username, but some OTP has been sent to your username or to your email ID. If I'm just saying email ID, and based upon the email ID that you have entered, a OTP has been sent, and now I want to enter the OTP also. So what I am doing in this case, without any parameter, two parameters of the same data type, single parameter, two parameters of different type. Now what if I'm saying what? See this now. I'm just changing the sequence of the parameter also, and I'm saying that what? Uh, int what? Password you are entering, okay? But you want to give some pin code also, which is in string format. So I'm changing the parameter also, like string and int and string. Rest what? What can you do? You can have multiple ways. You can actually overload your method according to your client requirement. Means now you can call this particular method with the help of your password pin code, with the email ID OTP if you have, only username if you have, with the username and password if you have, and without any login username password also. That's the real-time use case of a polymorphism, that when your client requirement is such that you have multiple ways to actually log in into that particular application, you can do this. This is one of the use case. Second use case is what? Very, very important. Payments. Have you seen in what different forms you can do the payments? If I am saying that what, uh, do payments method is there, and I want to do the payments with what? I am having some net banking. Can I do this with the help of net banking? Huh? Obviously, I can have this. I can do this. But if I am saying I don't have any net banking, what I'm having, I am having what? String only, but I am having a UPI ID. And in this, I am saying with the net banking, I want to enter your uname also, username to that net banking, and also the password to the net banking, obviously. Another way I can do the payments with the help of my UPI ID. Another way I can do the payments. Tell me what? I can have some credit card details. Then I can have some CVV number. Perfect. I can have that, correct? Okay. Rest what? What I can have? Tell me. Have you heard about PayPal? PayPal ID. But with it, if I want to give some OTP also, I can give this. So in this way, I can actually overload my method, which is a do payments method. I am overloading this method with different ways. If I am having a net banking, a user can do with the help of username password. If user is having only UPI ID, or if he is having credit card details with a CVV, or if he is having some PayPal ID and he want to enter the OTP. So in this way, guys, these are the real-time use cases of a compile time polymorphism, or a method loading, or static binding, or static polymorphism. These has to be used multiple times in your automation framework. So just try to make sure you are understanding it correctly. Okay. You will be getting a lot of requirements that you have to overload your method, because obviously I cannot show you right now for the automation things and all these things, but these are the real-time use case that you have to work on. Fine. I hope you understood these things. And obviously a lot of learnings today. Huh? So guys, I think that was all enough from my end. Do you have any questions in this case? Hmm? Any questions, guys? Okay, I think then enough for today. I'll be posting the recording soon as it is processed. See you in the next session, guys. Okay, do practice, do hard work. Thanks a lot.